Hello and welcome to this lesson. If you are preparing for the ISLPR writing test, especially for teacher registration or professional registration in Australia, this lesson is for you. Before we begin, please subscribe to this channel so you do not miss future lessons on ISLPR writing, speaking, listening, and reading. Also, remember to like this video and share it with someone preparing for the ISLPR test. In today's lesson, we are going to learn how to write a clear, professional, and well-organized formal email for an ISLPR style writing test. A formal email is a professional message sent to someone in an official or workplace role. In an ISLPR style task, you may need to write a formal email to a parent, teacher, principal, manager, colleague, registration officer, supervisor, or even a community organization. The aim is not to use complicated English. The aim is to communicate clearly, politely, appropriately for the situation. Therefore, let's begin. What is a formal email? A formal email is a professional electronic message. It is shorter and more direct than a formal letter, but it still needs to be respectful, organized, and complete. You may write a formal email to request information, respond to a concern, explain a situation, apologize for a problem, give advice or support, make a complaint, confirm arrangements, ask for permission, provide an update. In the ISLPR writing test, a formal email should show you that you can write naturally and professionally in a real life situation. Okay, let's talk about formal email versus formal letter. A formal email and a formal letter are similar, but they are not exactly the same. A formal letter usually includes sender's address, a date, receiver's address, a greeting, subject line, a body paragraphs, formal closing. A formal email usually includes a recipient's email address, subject line, a greeting, an opening paragraph, body paragraphs, a final paragraph, sign off, and the sender's name. In the test, you do not usually need to invent an email address, okay? Unless the task specifically asks for them. As we are going to see, you may not need to write the email address as you are writing your test. You need to focus more on the subject line, the greeting, the message body, and the closing. Let's now look at different parts of a formal email. First one, recipient. The recipient shows who the email is being sent to. For example, principal riverbankschool.edu.au. In the test, you may not need to write this email address. However, if you include it, keep it realistic and simple. The next thing is subject line. The subject line tells the reader what the email is about. A good subject line is short, clear, and specific. Examples include request for additional reading support, concern about homework completion, update on student participation, request for class excursion, response to parent concern. Avoid vague subject lines such as important, problem, please read, about student. Avoid those. The next part is greeting. Use a polite and professional greeting. And these are the examples that you can use. Dear Miss Stella, dear Miss Singh, dear principal, dear parent or guardian, dear registration officer, dear sir or madam. Use the person's name if you know it. If you do not know the name, use their title or their role. Okay, let's now talk about the next part, which is the opening paragraph. The opening paragraph should state why you are writing the email. For example, I am writing in response to your email regarding your child's homework completion over the past 2 weeks. This opening is clear because it immediately tells the reader the purpose of the email. The next part is the many body paragraphs. The body of the email gives the details. This section may explain what happened, describe what you have noticed, provide relevant examples, respond to the reader's concern, suggest a solution, request action or support, keep the body focused. Do not include unnecessary information. Okay, let's talk about the final paragraph. The final paragraph should explain the next step or close the message politely. For example, please let me know if you would like to discuss this further. I would be happy to meet with you next week to review this progress. Thank you for your support in this matter. I look forward to your response. Finally, we've got the sign-off part, which is the end. Use a professional sign-off. Examples of sign-offs could include kind regards, yours sincerely, regards. You can use these depending on where you are writing. For most formal emails, kind regards is appropriate and natural. Okay, now let's talk about the simple formal email structure. In the test, you can use the following structure. Start with a clear subject line. So in the test, remember we said we cannot, sometimes we don't need to write the email address. So start with a clear subject line. Then write your greeting. Paragraph 1 should state why you are writing. Paragraph 2 should give details, explanation, or background information. Paragraph 3 should suggest an action, make a request, or explain the next step. Finish with a professional sign-off such as kind regards, followed by your name. Let's now talk about use formal email phrases. For example, to begin the email, you can write, I am writing in relation to, I am writing to respond to your concern about, thank you for your email, I am writing to provide an update on, I am writing to request your support with. For you to explain the situation, you can use phrases like, over the past 2 weeks, I have noticed that. The main concern is that this has affected. One possible reason for this may be, it appears that. Now, if you want to suggest a solution, one strategy that may help is, those are the examples. I suggest that it may be used to, we support the student by, and to close your letter politely, you may use phrases like, thank you for your understanding. Thank you for your support. Please let me know if you have any questions. I would be happy to discuss this further. I look forward to hearing from you. Let us now work through a guided example. Here is the task. Word limit 150 to 180 words. You are working in a school. A parent has emailed you because they are concerned that their child is not completing homework regularly. Write a formal email to the parent explaining the situation and suggesting one practical way the school and family can support the student. Now, in this email, your email should include, firstly, acknowledge the parent's concern. Secondly, explain what you have noticed at school. Thirdly, suggest one practical support strategy. And lastly, use a respectful and professional tone. Okay, so let's start with step number 1, which is identify the audience. The audience in this email is a parent. This means that the tone should be respectful, calm, and supportive. A suitable greeting would be, Dear Mrs. Williams. Step number 2, identify the purpose. The purpose is to respond to the parent's concern, explain what you have noticed, and suggest a supportive strategy. This email should not blame the student or the parent. Step number 3, plan the paragraphs. Paragraph 1 should acknowledge the parent's concern. Paragraph 2 should explain what has been noticed at school. Paragraph 3 should suggest one support strategy and close politely. Step number 4, model answer. Let's look at a model answer. Subject, support for homework completion. And then we will write, Dear Mrs. Williams, thank you for your email regarding Daniel's homework. I understand your concern and appreciate you letting me know that he has been finding it difficult to complete tasks regularly at home. At school, I have noticed that Daniel understands the learning activities when they are explained step by step. However, he sometimes needs extra time to record instructions and organize the materials he reads before leaving the classroom. This may be one reason why he is unsure about what to complete at home. One strategy that may help is to use a simple homework checklist. I can help Daniel write the task, due date, and materials needed before the end of each day. At home, you could use the checklist to support him as he begins his homework. Thank you for your support. Please let me know if you would like to discuss this further. Kind regards, Ronald Kaunda. Now, let's talk about why this email works. This email works because it has a clear subject line. It uses a polite greeting. It acknowledges the parent's concern. It explains the situation without blaming anyone. It gives a practical support strategy. It uses clear paragraphs and it ends politely. And it stays within the word limit. Let's look at a weak and an improved email illustration. Let's compare a weak email with a stronger one. Let's start with the weak email. Subject, homework. And then you write, "Dear parent, your child is not doing homework. I think you need to make sure he does it every day. He often forgets things and this is becoming a problem. Please help him more at home. Regards, Ronald." This is a very weak email. Why is this email weak? Because this email uses the tone that blames the parent. The subject line is too general. There is not enough detail. The suggestion is not clearly supportive. It does not sound professional. It may make the parent feel criticized. Now let's look at an improved email. Subject, supporting homework completion. Dear Mrs. Williams, thank you for your email about Daniel's homework. I understand your concern and agree that a consistent routine may help him complete tasks more confidently. At school, Daniel responds well when the instructions are broken into smaller steps. However, he sometimes needs support to record the homework task clearly before going home. To support him, I suggest using simple homework checklist. I can help him complete it at school and you can use it at home to guide his routine. Kind regards, Ronald Kaunda. This is a strong email. Now, let's talk about tips that you can use for your ISLPR formal emails. Tip number 1, read the task carefully. Before writing, identify who you are writing to, why you are writing, what points you must include, what tone is required, the word limit. Do not miss any bullet points in the task. Tip number 2, use a clear subject line. The subject line should match the purpose of the email. Tip number 3, write in clear paragraphs. Use 3 short paragraphs. Paragraph 1 is the purpose. Paragraph 2, explanation. Paragraph 3, the action or the next step. This makes your email easier to read. Tip number 4, be professional, not emotional. Avoid things like, "You must fix this problem." Instead, you can write, "I would appreciate your support with this strategy." Tip number 5, keep it realistic. ISLPR style writing often reflects real communication. Write as if the person will actually read and respond to your email. Use natural, professional language. Tip number 6, leave time to check your work. Before you finish, check your spelling, your punctuation, your subject-verb agreement, your verb tense, your paragraphing, your tone, your task completion, and your word limit. Okay, now let's look at the final checklist. What are some of the things you need to consider? Before submitting your email, ask yourself, have I written a clear subject line? Have I used a polite greeting? Is my purpose clear in the first paragraph? Have I answered all parts of the task? Have I used a professional tone? Have I organized my ideas into paragraphs? Have I suggested a clear action or next step? Have I used an appropriate sign off? Is my email within the word limit? Have I checked grammar, punctuation, and spelling? If you found this lesson helpful, Please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with someone preparing for the writing test. I will see you in the next one.